So Lucas, news came out this week that Xabi Alonso is going to stay after all at Leverkusen. Do you think that's the right decision?
That's the best decision he could have made. Not joining Real Madrid, not joining Liverpool, not joining Bayern, but actually staying.
Why?
Just to gain the experience. This is his first full season as a coach.
But what if he performs really bad next year?
So he still won the Leverkusen the title, the first title in their history.
And you think
nothing
will change his perspectives for the
unless
future?
He gets Leverkusen relegated.
So he has to perform really badly for his reputation to be hindered.
It's not going to happen. The reputation will not get ruined.
Because I don't know if you can top what he did this year. So like next year,
win the league again? Why not?
I mean, if he goes undefeated and he wins the league,
he doesn't need to top it.
I don't know if you can top that.
He doesn't need to top it. He can just get Champions League place next season. They'll be happy with him.
You think so?
Why does he need to top it? He achieved the biggest possible thing for the club in their history.
Yeah.
He's just God at this point.
Yeah.
Like nobody is gonna ever look at him from the wrong angle. That's it. He's the best coach. Not gonna say in their history, obviously, but in their recent history. So yeah, there's nothing wrong he can do. Basically, he's just get more experience. He's gonna learn what it's like to manage a team after such a big success, after losing few of your players. So he's super young. He's got nothing to lose. Spending 1 or 2 more years at Leverkusen is the best thing he can do.
I also think, my opinion is, I agree with you. I think if he had left, it's a hit or miss. It's a risk. It's a big risk with not having that much experience. And you already have such a great setup for you that everything is working well. Why leave? I understand they'll say the money, the name, but he's so young that he could do this anytime he wants. With this young team that they have, if they keep their core together, they could do really well in the Champions League next year. So why not try that out first?
They're not going to win it.
Who knows? I mean, how can you say that? They clearly are better than Bayern, and
you're not going to win Champions League. You might progress.
I don't know. Like I know this is a long time ago, but FC Porto won the Champions League with Mourinho. These coaches come and perform in these ways that it's unspeakable. The fact that he's undefeated in the Bundesliga in the first place at this point of the season, no one could predict. So no one could predict what can happen in the Champions League next year, especially with the way that they play as a team. I don't feel like there's a lot of egos on that team. Nope. Like all of them play for the team, and anything is possible that's the impression I'm getting from this coach, which is what is amazing about him.
Honestly, the reason I think it's a good decision, I'm looking at it from the perspective of what if he went to other teams. Let's see the options he had. A Real Madrid option, it's out of the table because Ancelotti extended the contract. He's going to be there for 2 more years.
Which I think is a good decision. I don't understand why they always want to get rid of him. He always performs.
At this right now, there is no point of getting rid of him. It's just at some point he wanted to go to Brazil national team.
So it's more like his decision than
he
Real
wanted
Madrid.
to leave because he felt like he couldn't get more out of this team.
Yeah.
And so it's Ancelotti is going to be at Real Madrid for another 2 years. So that means Real Madrid is not going to be on the table for 2 seasons. Then he had Liverpool as an option, but Liverpool he has to go into the environment after Jurgen Klopp leaves.
I wouldn't.
It's gonna be it's not an easy job because you have to take over such a difficult job. You have a big shoes to fill in.
But
big
it's Liverpool.
Because so I know it's his team, so the expectations, it's not gonna be less, but
that's his team.
He's gonna feel less pressure, obviously, because the fans will support him no matter what.
Yeah.
But it's still lots of pressure to take for a young coach, and then there's an option.
And he could always come back. I feel like the minute he's available, Liverpool's going to want him. Unless they find the right manager.
No matter, don't forget he's very young. He'll have the opportunity to be Liverpool's coach.
Yeah.
And the second option he had, the second real option, was Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich as such a
I would hate that to happen. I don't like when that happens in the Bundesliga, where their best coach goes to the Bayern every single time. It's like their best player from Dortmund goes over there. Like any player that does well in the Bundesliga goes to Bayern. I just don't understand that. It makes the league really uninteresting because the minute you do well, the next year Bayern have that player, that manager, whatever. I don't like that idea. They should stop doing that.
I mean, I hate the idea too, but even in this case, I'm looking at it like, why would he join Bayern? They are mess at the structural level. It's their board. The board has not been performing well, so there is also possibility lots of people are going to get fired from their positions.
I mean, they've went through 3 top coaches in the last few years. So
they've been changing coaches. So you never want to go into an environment where the coaches are being changed so consistently, because what happens is that each of those coaches, they bring their own players.
Yeah.
So when you go into that team, you face a weird combination of players that you have to deal with.
Exactly.
So that the third factor, the players he's gonna have there, it's just a mess.
It is a mess.
There's no defensive midfielder.
A lot of their players are getting older too, like Mueller, Kimmich.
Kane is also old. Don't forget about that factor. So there are lots.
That's a tough job. That's going to be interesting how they can transition.
And that's why I think the Bayern team being so poor that Leverkusen winning the league again next season, I don't see why not. Maybe it'll be Dortmund. I don't see a coach who is going to step in and make this Bayern team amazing again. So
yeah,
it's very possible that Bayern are going to have a transitional season next year.
Yeah.
So
then
Xabi
even better
Alonso,
for him.
He understands that he stays at the club for one more year and something might happen. You never know. So
I agree.
That was a great decision, and a great decision by a young coach. I'm happy to see that. I'm happy to see that he's using his brain over his heart, and hopefully he continues to be as successful as he is right now.